So hello, everyone. We are on episode 3 of season 2. I would like to welcome you back. Today, we are welcoming Cathia. Um, and
Hi.
hi, Cathia.
Hi.
I'm really excited about this topic that we're about to discuss. I've wanted to discuss it for a while. I touched upon it last year with our little podcasters, our little guests. So we talked with children a little bit about this topic. It's a topic I'm really interested in, especially since becoming a mother and not just in education, but as a mother. It's something that is always in my mind, and it's about children's mental health.
Exactly.
And we are doing this episode with you, obviously, because Cathia, you have written a children's book, a book for children. I want to say children's book because children's book
Exactly.
gives
Yes.
another kind of image. A book for children, um, for their mental health, and you are doing such an amazing job at bringing this topic to the forefront. Um, And yes, I think it's something that we should talk about and we should ask questions about and we should be focusing on. So yes, this is why we wanted you.
Thank you.
Um, and welcome.
What a lovely introduction. Beautiful. Thank you so much. And very well said. Exactly. It's a workbook for kids. So basically, my aim is for children to have this workbook basically as a diary, almost a daily diary, a daily journal entry, if you may, so that they reuse it. It's not a book that's intended to just be looked at once and then put back in the shelves. I want children to feel comfortable with this book. I want parents to feel comfortable with this workbook. And I'd like basically everyone really to just embrace how important it is to have such a workbook and for children from a very young age. So even if kids really can't read or write well yet, it's okay because the affirmations that are used in the book are meant to be listened to, heard, absorbed. So it's okay. The parents can also do it on their behalf. So it doesn't have to be just the children.
Yeah, and it's a book that prompts conversations and it assists parents also to know what direction they're going in. So I
Mm.
remember when my son, he went through a bit of a difficult time after um a couple of losses, unfortunately, that I it had an effect on my son.
Mm.
Um, and he was going through a difficult time. And one of his teachers suggested at school, ask him to write a diary. And I was like, what about what? How? When? How do I start? And it was this concept of a diary and what do I tell him to write? And it was really, it was a
Mm.
beautiful suggestion and it was a lovely effort, but I didn't know where to start. And your book guides both children, but it's also a really nice guide for parents because we take it for granted that
Yes.
parents know what they're doing, and we don't know what we're doing most
I
of the
mean,
time.
if you think about it, this is a kind of a new, not a new concept. Of course, it's been around, but I think it's new. I would say the last few years, parents have become more mindful of these things. So it's also new to parents. So
Yes,
it's understandable that obviously they wouldn't know where to start, how many times to repeat the affirmations, for instance, when to do it, when's the best time to do them.
yes,
So for sure, I wanted the parents to understand that no, there is a bit of a structure, and it's easy, it's simple.
yeah,
So that is important. So for parents and kids to do it together, and for parents to, I mean, look, I know it's more targeted for children, but even up to, I would say, teenagers, like young teenagers, 12 and 13 years old, they can also take this and do it at night before they go to bed. So Yeah, I just want everyone to feel comfortable enough, and like you said, for it to be something easy to follow.
Yeah. So we will be sharing information with this podcast recording an episode about your book. But what I wanted to do today is open up this discussion of
Mhm.
children's mental health.
Yes.
What I first want to know is what did you see? Because I know you work with children, obviously.
Yes.
Um, what did you see that inspired you to focus on this aspect of raising children?
So there were a few reasons. One was I was noticing some of my friends whose kids were going through divorced parents, and I saw the effect on the children. And then I also thought about myself as a child and where I am at this point in my life when I had written the book. And I just wanted to every child that comes to me and every child that I teach, I feel like I always have to leave them with something positive, something uplifting. And every child had something that could be worked on. So I just felt that every child needs this. Even if they are in the most loving atmosphere, it doesn't matter. You still need that in their minds, ingrained in their minds. And also when they grow up as adults, to have that with such strength that they can attract better relationships of all kinds, work relationships, relationships with their families, romantic relationships. I just felt it was so important and vital that kids have such a loving self concept of themselves.
When do you feel that children, that as parents, we should
Mm.
be paying more attention to children's mental health? When does it
When
start to get a little bit
I
that we should be placing
definitely
emphasis?
I definitely would start as young as 4 or 5 years old, the
Okay.
100%, because their subconscious is being formed up until the age of 7. So from 0 to 7, they're absorbing information from all around them, their friends, their aunties, schools, teachers, they're
Hmm.
absorbing everything. And that's when your subconscious is formed. So definitely as young as possible, I would even have the parents say the affirmations just during the day to even kids as little as 4 and 5 years old. I definitely have seen, let's say, the 6 and 7 year olds where it's definitely time to really focus on it. But I personally would start younger so that they they already have that built in, so that by the time they're 6 and 7, we don't see a lot of um, let's say anxiety or stress or self-criticism, which a lot of them have.
Hmm.
So definitely I would start as little as 4 and 5. I mean, some of my friends who have the book, the kids were cutting up pictures and putting them on the tree. It reinforces even the positive things in your life. It reinforces that.
Okay. Do you think there's a point where it's too late to to I don't want to say fix?
I'll never say that because I'm definitely half a cup half full person. So I'll never say it's too late for anyone because adults also deal with a lot of things, and these affirmations can play a very vital role because the more you say something to yourself, the more you'll start believing it, and then these thoughts will shape your decisions and eventually your life. So I don't ever think it's too late, but I definitely would recommend younger for sure, because I
Yeah.
feel like when we were growing up, let's say, we didn't have such books. So if we start at such a young age, it will really help in everything in life, in every
I
area.
I think it's such the reason I think it's such an important topic is because parents instinctively they kind of think, what's the first things we think of as parents, right? What school are they going to go to? What are they going to
Mm,
learn?
mm,
Or what extracurricular activities can they do? What food can I give them? These are all things that we kind of
yes.
instinctively think. And their actual mental health while we focus on their intelligence and while we focus on their bodies, their mental health, I think, gets forgotten. No,
Yes.
not because we don't love them, but because we just think, oh, it's going to happen naturally. They'll be fine.
Mm.
And that's why I think bringing this topic to the forefront is something that people have to shout about it. We have to shout about it that just the
100%.
way that we're trying to teach children to be healthy physically, we should be teaching them to be healthy emotionally.
100%. 100%. And ideally, I'll honestly say, as much as I wanted to reach everyone, I really would love it if schools had these kinds of books in their curriculums. They have
Yeah.
to implement these kinds of books because there you can't have one without the other anymore. And I think parents are becoming more aware of that. So the goal is from here, I would love it if schools started adopting these kinds of books for sure, because it's not enough to just be book smart.
Yeah.
100% no. You need kids to be mentally healthy and mentally okay. And there's so much more pressure and stress. There's social media now, there's the internet, there's peer pressure, there's bullying. They're subjected to so many things that mental health can't be neglected in any way.
I agree 1000%. Well, I
Yes.
have myself personally, I have a 12-year-old and an 11-year-old, and the things that my 12-year-old has to face at 12,
Oh, yeah.
I had to face when I was 16,
Exactly.
17.
Exactly.
And it's a struggle. It's something that I, as a parent, didn't think I'd have to deal with mental health, children's mental health, his mental health at such a young age.
Mm.
And it's about as you said, it's about starting early. So when what is the first thing? What if you were to give a parent a, a tip? What is the first thing that a parent should be doing to help their child's mental health from the beginning? You say as early as 4. What could we
Yes.
be doing with our 4-year-olds to help his
Definitely the
mental health?
minute they wake up. There are certain time periods that are very essential, especially the morning when they wake up and right before they sleep. It's very important to talk to your kids, okay, of course, in a loving way, but I'm saying repeat certain affirmations to them that I'm enough, I'm loved, I'm strong, I'm confident. And even if the child, let's say, is a little bit older and doesn't believe it, it's okay. But like you were saying, let's start from the beginning. If you if you replay these affirmations, the kid eventually will absorb it enough that he or she will believe it. And at night before they fall asleep, it's also very important to leave them with that as they go to sleep, because that's when it will really register into their subconscious. So I think those two things, if you can just start, I know everyone's busy, they've got activities, I know parents are running back and forth, but if you can just do a few affirmations in the morning when they wake up and a few before they go to sleep, that's good. But I wouldn't just do it once a week. I would do it regularly where it becomes a habit.
And in your book you have affirmations,
Yes,
you said.
affirmations and activities as well.
Yeah. So in terms of the affirmations, because this is one that you've mentioned a lot. So I'm assuming since you've mentioned it a lot, it's one of the most effective tools. How how would we be doing affirmations? Are we writing them on mirrors? Are we sticking them
So,
on
I mean, that's
walls?
why I was saying, I mean, look, if you have the luxury of a bit more time, I definitely would advise to not only say them, but also to write them. If the child can write at that time. If not, then to say them out loud and have the child repeat them for sure. If the child is a little bit older, I would definitely recommend to not only say them and say them in their minds, but to also write them down. Writing is very powerful. once you get them to write, there's such a focus um, that I think, in my opinion, would, I don't want to say double the power, but it reinforces it even more. And if what you can make it fun with the child as well. I mean, you can take these affirmations, and like you said, you can have them, they can color it, they can put it around their bedroom, on their desk where they're studying, in the kitchen table, wherever you want. You can have fun with these affirmations. It doesn't have to be just in the book, but yeah, have them in their face so that they can see it. They might be sitting in bed one day and feeling a little sad. They look over and then they see the affirmation and they'll remember. So definitely have it accessible, but for sure, saying them out loud, saying them in your mind and writing them, my top tips.
Okay. No, I agree that this to see it because it's nice to say it. I think it's nice to say it because it's nice for the child to hear it from
Mm.
the to have that connection with the parent, for the
Oh,
parent to say it as
100%.
well.
Yes.
But something said can often be forgotten, but if you see it,
Oh, yeah.
then
And
it is
exactly.
more powerful.
And you say it, you see it, you write it, it's just there in your face and it's around you. Yeah, definitely. For sure.
In your experience and in your research on children's mental health, have you noticed any red flags in children that parents should be aware of to show that their child is struggling with their mental health?
Oh, oh, it's a big question.
It's a big,
Well,
that's a podcast episode in itself.
yeah, yes, I've seen it. I've seen quite a few. There's the hypersensitive children, um, who get upset very quickly, and I would say, they're more prone to stress and anxiety. And I think these kids definitely need a little bit more love and care and gentleness and affirmations for sure. Okay, I'm going to give you an example, okay, for my lessons. I had one student, she's 7 years old. And I noticed whenever I would tell her anything positive, she would reject it. So I would say, oh, let's call her Maria. Maria, that's so good. No, it's not good. Maria did so well. No, I didn't do so well. No, but your writing was perfect. No, it wasn't perfect. Everything that I would tell her, she would reject it. So there was a lot of self-criticism. And as the lessons went on, I noticed she was so critical of herself as well, besides her intelligence, physically. At 7 years old, she wasn't happy with her body. She started telling me, I'm fat. My legs are big at 7 years old. And I would tell her, Maria, of course not. You're perfect as you are. And you're a little girl. You're beautiful. You're da da da. And so eventually I gave her the book and she started doing the exercises. One day she came to the house and I told her, Maria, have you been doing the book? She said, yes. And I said, so how's it going? She said, can't you see? I'm wearing shorts. She's like, I'm wearing shorts. I can show my legs now. So obviously I was on cloud nine when I heard
So
that. But
nice.
my point is, this child couldn't take anything positive. She couldn't absorb anything good. So definitely, I mean, that's a huge red flag for sure. Because there's nothing wrong with saying, thank you. Yes, I did do very well. Or, just to smile and say thank you. But you could tell that she just refused it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you get a lot of experiences as well in preschool, and maybe you've seen kids. They display things in different ways. Each child is different, but I think
Yeah.
instinctively parents know. Maybe they just don't know what to do about it.
Yes. Yes. That's a big issue with this
Yeah.
topic is that as much it with most things when it comes to children, I always say I first have to educate the parents and then
Mm.
I can educate the children. because we can, but as teachers, we can be working with children and talking to children and getting through to children. Like, let's, say we're talking to teaching the children about recycling, and then the children go home and they're looking for a recycle bin, and the parents say, "Oh my gosh, recycling bin, throw it in the dustbin."
Mm,
We can do all we want,
that's
but if
true.
that's what's happening at home, and it's not because the parents awful, it's because they're uneducated. It's
Yes.
the same with mental health. So if your student, if the children you're working with are mentally unhealthy, you can work with them for years. But if they're finding parents who are contributing to this
Yes.
unhealthy mindset, then it's kind of undoing what you've done. So this
It's
is why,
very true. So in my case, the good thing was that I did approach the parent because it was a concern for me. And the mom was quite receptive, which was good. And then I recommended the book. She ended up doing it with both her daughters. She felt very connected to them and she loved the exercises. So I'm sure it helped a lot. However, in saying that, I did observe that the daughter was obviously just mimicking some things her mom was saying because the
yeah,
mom would say things about food or
yeah,
feeling also
yeah,
overweight and etc. So clearly the daughter was picking up these cues from her mom.
yes. But again, it's not because I mean it's not because parents don't love their children, but we also as people are bringing damage with us. So
Yes,
like
exactly.
my
Yes,
mom, I have one of the most wonderful mums in the world, but she is also coming with her own damage. So
of
when I was a
course.
little girl, because her mother put pressure on her with weight, she put pressure on me with weight.
Mm.
And it was a constant
Oh
discussion.
yeah.
I was never overweight, but it was a constant discussion to not be overweight. And
Yes.
her mother, my grandmother, would put this pressure on me. And they adored me. I know they loved me. I had
No,
no
no, it's
doubt
not
they
done in
loved
ill
me.
will, of course, of
It's
course. But now
because there's just
how are you as a parent now with that? Are you more conscious of these things that you say, for instance?
I am very conscious of these things. However, I still find myself instinctively worried about my son's weight and
Wow.
he's overweight, but I worry, oh, he's eating too much.
You see,
Oh,
it's been programmed. It's
yes,
programmed in your subconscious. That's how you program. That's why. And that's okay. We're not perfect. It's fine. It's okay. But that's why we need to give them the tools that, all right,
yeah,
maybe my mom is very concerned about weight, but you know what? It's okay because I'm perfect as I am. I'm enough as I am. She can worry. I'll eat or I won't eat. I'm still good.
yeah,
That's the tool that they need to have. It's no matter what is around me, I'm still great. Even if my parents are going through divorce, which I've had with some friends, and the girl felt abandoned by her father, for instance, I'm still enough. I'm still loved.
yeah. To have
So
that
this
resilience to deal with the
exactly,
world
no
around
matter the
them.
circumstances. So
Yeah,
it's okay. We just need to give them these tools to love themselves enough that they're not going to get affected. To a certain extent, of course, you can't remove everything. They're going to go to school. They're going to be subjected to things. It's okay, but just enough so that they're secure in themselves. And then as they get older, this teaches them so many things. It's not just about loving themselves. It teaches them boundaries with people. It teaches them how to say no to people.
yeah, yeah. And this is important, like you said, when they go to school and they have to deal with things. I mean, with my son, school is sadly, school can be such a horrible place for
Yes, of
children.
course.
And my son has had to go through quite a difficult period with some children.
Mm,
And my approach as a parent is I can't change the world. I can't remove people from the world. Whether he finds this child now at school, he might not find him now at school, but he'll find him later on at university. If he doesn't find him at university, he's going to find him at work. But
Yes.
he might find him, he might marry that person.
Yes,
So, and it's
100%.
about teaching our children, I feel, to deal with it themselves. Because I find,
Exactly.
because what happened when I think, and I think it was a thing in maybe our generation when we were younger, my parents, if I didn't like something, they would just remove it. So
Mm,
if I didn't if I was being bothered by a child in class, they would go to the school, they would say, take this child and move, I want my daughter away from this class. And they would
mm,
take me away from,
mm.
they would move me class. Whereas they didn't teach me, okay, she's not being nice to you. Respond. Say to her, you know what?
Mm.
You do you, I'm going to do me. We don't have to be friends. You don't have to like me. I don't have to like you. And we can move on and have that inner
Exactly.
strength and that
Yes. That like that
confidence,
resilience, as you were saying.
that
Yeah.
resilience. No, no, we weren't taught that. We were taught, okay, you don't like it, my love. I'm going to take you away from that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. Maybe we're more sheltered and cocooned, maybe, but at the same time, kids these days are just exposed to so much more as well. They're
Yeah, they
facing
are.
a lot more things than we were. And
They are.
especially for me, social media and the internet. I mean, I was actually even inspired because I started thinking, oh God, there's another problem now when it comes to bullying and social media that we
Yeah.
also have to address this problem. But definitely, you need to build that core within them that they feel safe no matter what, they're grounded no matter what. And it's okay if someone doesn't like me, or it's okay if someone's not being good to me. I'm okay.
Yeah. No, the social media thing is scary. Yes,
Yes,
it's
it is.
definitely something we didn't have to deal with, and it's something that terrifies, I think, most parents.
Yes, 100%. And
The
there's only
social
so much you
media.
can do. There's only so much to control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I absolutely love your book.
Thank
I
you.
was obsessed with the concept. And then when I saw the book, I became even more obsessed. I
Thank
think
you.
it's an incredible initiative that you took. I think it's incredibly important. I'll share the details with everyone about your book,
Amazing.
so
And
that they
thank you
can
for
grab
being
it.
so forward thinking with this. It's people like you that we need to embrace books like this and start introducing them to children and make a difference.
Yeah.
So thank you. And I know you've appreciated it from day one. So
Yes, I have.
thank you
I've been
for
a
that.
big cheerleader of your book from day one.
Thank you. I
I absolutely
appreciate it
love
for
it. And
sure.
I think it, if everyone keeps pushing and pushing this topic to the
Yes.
forefront,
Yes.
then a difference can be made.
100%. And it's short enough so that no one has to worry that it's going to be long and boring. It's condensed
Yes, it
for
is.
any attention span, for any child.
It's absolutely perfect. So I can't wait to share the details with everyone. And yeah, but thank you, Kathia. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat
Thank
today.
you for having me. Thank you so
Of
much. It was
course, it's
lovely.
been an absolute pleasure, and I wish you all the best moving forward with your book. I
Thank you.
continue to be a cheerleader of your book.
Thank you so much.
But yes, then for now, thank you to everyone for listening and tuning into this episode. And we will see you very soon again. Bye.